Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Slim Dayspring 12. And of course, don't forget to check out the Facebook group, Dayspring Discussions, for all the stories posted there. Well, guys, we have a very special episode today. We are talking Star Wars. So, of course, I brought in the mistress of Mandalore herself, Miss Lisa Locke McGahee.
Hello.
All right, guys. So as you know, of course, the big movie coming out this weekend was The Mandalorian and Grogu, the recent Star Wars movie, first Star Wars movie in about 6.5 years since we got the Rise of Skywalker. I know we're all still longing and hurting from that movie, of course, too. But this is the first one we got in a while, of course. So Lisa and I went and saw it last night. We're going to kind of share our thoughts on that. Maybe towards the end we could talk a little Darth Maul Shadow Lord, since we haven't really talked about that, and then talk about some future Star Wars projects that might be coming out as well. Like I said, Lisa and I are both big Star Wars fans, so I feel like this is a good one to just kind of dive in and just go for it. So, the Mandalorian and Grogu, starting off, Lisa, general thoughts.
I mean, I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Will I rewatch it? Probably. I think it was cute. It was an adventure. It was just like a fun one-off adventure type thing. It reminded me a lot of the show. It just seemed like the TV show in movie form. So, I mean, I was all right. I mean, I liked it better than some Star Wars movies. I liked it less than some Star Wars movies. I mean, I think I would probably put it somewhere in the low to middle range of ranking in the Star Wars films, but I didn't by any means hate it.
Okay, so what? Give me some like highlights and give me some low points.
I mean, I thought Grogu was cute. He is cute. He's a cute little thing. I know you think he's stupid, but I think he was cute. I mean, I liked Rada. I liked what they did with Rada the Hutt. I liked his storyline. Like just getting to see him trying to break away from his family and trying to be different than
get out of his father's shadow.
I mean, I thought that storyline was interesting. I thought how he, we've never encountered a Hutt that was not bad. Mm-hmm. So seeing kind of like a good Hutt, especially with, flashing back to the fact that we know this Hutt, we knew him from when he was a baby. And so, just kind of getting to, so I thought that storyline was interesting. I mean, I loved seeing Zeb. Zeb was definitely a highlight. Yeah. But I think that was a highlight for people like us who watched Rebels, loved Rebels. I think for the vast majority of, casual Star Wars fan, they're not going to have any idea who that character was. Yeah. Or nothing.
And the hopes is, of course, maybe they took a shining to the character and they would maybe go check him out on Rebels.
I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. I think it was just a way that they could use a character that they've used before that people loved, but I don't think it's going to get most people to be like, I wonder who that guy, if he was something before. I don't think that's going to be the goal of it. But I thought Zeb was cool. I loved the one scene he actually got to fight where he had his staff like he used in the show. I thought that was awesome. I'm sorry. I mean, I like that. I mean, I really didn't think that Mandu and Grogu had any kind of substance. I mean, the two of them, the two characters, not the movie as a whole. I mean, the movie as a whole as well, but those two characters, like they didn't have any kind of a story arc or a journey or a character development. I mean, they were exactly the same at the end as they were.
I guess kind of the person who had the story arc was Rada.
Exactly. I mean, it really was like his story because Mandu and Grogu didn't do anything. I mean, they didn't accomplish anything. They didn't have any kind of character development or growth.
Yes.
They were exactly where at the end where they were at the beginning. It was just another one of their adventures. It was just like a long episode of the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was, but it's like I said, saying that, I didn't dislike it. I like the show. So, I mean, I thought it was fine.
Okay. So I was thinking about this, okay? So, when they first announced the Mandalorian show, and I was thinking, okay, well, here's a guy that looks like Boba Fett, and he's a bounty hunter. It's just going to be some, like, Boba Fett ripoff show, whatever. I'm not a big Boba Fett fan, so I don't really think I'll care for it, okay? But it was more than that because having watched Clone Wars and Rebels, it was really about the Mandalorians.
Right.
And, we find out that, Din Djarin is part of this breakoff group, which is part of Death Watch, and then they brought in the Darksaber, and then they brought in Bo-Katan, and then they did more into the Mandalore. And as a Star Wars fan who watched Clone Wars and Rebels and really liked the Mandalorians, they dove into all that, and that's what I liked about that series.
I mean, honestly, Din Djarin was not my favorite part of that show.
Yeah,
by any means. I mean, I much preferred, like you said, the stuff that they did when they talked with the other Mandalorians, like when they brought in, the ones that we know.
Yeah, like Bo-Katan and all that.
And then like comparing them to this other. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that was the most interesting part of the show.
Mm-hmm. So basically what this movie is what I was afraid the show was going to be. Because we have Din Djarin, who really, in the show, his I like his backstory where he's a foundling and he was found by the Mandalorians and all that too and stuff like that. But the character himself doesn't have much of a personality. Mm. And the only other character we had to play off of is a pretty much silent puppet, So there was nothing to this. It's like they go on this adventure. Great. But I knew from the very moment, neither one of them were going to get hurt.
No.
Okay? Nothing was going to change. They were not going to change. The universe, you can say what you will about Rise of Skywalker. I walked into that movie saying, okay, these characters are going to go through some shit. Okay? They're going to be different at the end than they were at the beginning. And probably something's going to change that's going to affect the rest of the galaxy. Okay? Nothing like that happened in this movie. Mm-hmm. Now, you could say the same thing about the Solo movie, but the thing about the Solo movies is you're going on an adventure with Han Solo. You have Lando, L3, Tobias Beckett, Han. These great personalities that you love, that you want to go on this adventure with because these characters are so fun to watch, okay?
But you have to
There's nothing fun to watch about a silent Din Djarin and a silent puppet.
Okay, well, I disagree with that because I did think the movie was fun to watch. I didn't think it had any substance.
I was so bored.
I didn't think there was any substance in it. Like, I agree that didn't accomplish anything. No, I totally agree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. But I do disagree in that it wasn't fun to watch. I think it was just as entertaining to watch as any of the episodes of that show.
Okay.
I mean, I agree that I think Din Djarin is kind of a dry character, and I wish that that Grogu would age just a tiny bit faster, because for fuck's sake, like, how long is he going to be this like whiny baby? Like, it's annoying. But I do think that the show itself, I honestly think it was very similar to Solo, and I think that's why it's not getting this. I think it's going to get a similar to reception as Solo did. I think because Solo, I think, had the same drawback of this, is it didn't really change anything.
Yes.
There wasn't, it was a fun adventure in space, which you have said many, many times.
Exactly. It was fun because the characters were fun.
Right, but I think this one, it wasn't those big, but it was fun for you because you really like Han Solo.
I'm sorry. If you want to hang out with one crew versus the other, come on now.
I'm just saying that's your opinion, but that's my point. Mm-hmm. I think there are a lot of people, especially younger kids, who are going to have more fun on this adventure than on Solo.
Okay, I get
you. Honestly, I had more fun in this movie than I do watching Solo.
And it's one of those things where I don't think the movie is bad. Just to me, the movie is boring.
Right, I agree, and that's what I'm saying. I think that we're both saying the movie is the same thing. It's a fun adventure in space. That's really all it is.
It depends on your definition of fun.
Exactly, depending on what you like. There are going to be people that definitely like Solo better, and there are going to be people that like this one better. I personally rate both of them fairly low on my Star Wars list.
Yeah,
I didn't love either of them. I agree that Solo did have much better individual characters.
Yes.
There were, but I do think this one had, like I said, I really thought that Rada's character was really good. I love that Zeb was in it, but you're right. Other than them, and we didn't really get to find out enough about that bounty hunter, which I think could have been interesting if we had known a little bit more about that other bounty hunter, the one that like captured him. They didn't really.
Oh yeah, I forget his name, but he's in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, they didn't really go into him very much,
Wars,
which I think was maybe a lost opportunity. But I mean, I think it was just a lot of kiddie. This one was playing to kids, I think, for sure. It was. I think this one is going to be like a kiddie.
But on that, let's talk about the fact that I feel like if you really wanted to get the most enjoyment out of this series, do you feel like you should have some kind of back knowledge as far as watching the Mandalorian series?
I don't think you need to, no. I think that if a kid went in to watch this, or like Nora, when she watched it, she liked it. She's never watched Mando. She I mean, all the questions, but the questions that she had coming out of it didn't distract her from the film. Like the stuff she was asking afterward, like why couldn't he take his helmet off, and stuff that you really would have had to watch.
How did he get Grogu?
How did he get Grogu? Right, those kind of questions. Those kind of questions, I think, don't make it where you didn't like the movie. Like she liked the movie, but it does make her now want to go watch The Mandalorian. So I think this is going to get people maybe who go with a friend, maybe somebody who didn't watch it and they've gone with a friend, or like how Nora came with us. I don't think you needed to watch the show to enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I'm debating on whether or not, like, I think, like you said, judging from people who haven't watched the show, like our daughter, if they enjoyed it more because they didn't watch the show, or, did I enjoy it less because I watched the show? And I know all the meat and the substance that is Grogu and Mandalorian and their backstory, and we didn't really get a development of more of it,
Honestly, I think that the reason that like hardcore Star Wars fans like us and like some of the other people that we know, I think the reason that we're not liking this is just because our expectations are so much higher, because it's been so long since we've had a really good Star Wars movie. I think we're just waiting for something that's not coming.
I think, but it's one of those things though too, where we get flashes, I think, of the goodness, like Maul Shadow Lord or Andor.
Oh yeah.
We get the peaks of what Star Wars can be at its best. And again, this is the first movie in almost 7 years. And this is Jon Favreau, someone who I consider to be a good director, good storyteller, and they come out with this.
Yeah.
It
honestly, I think it just seemed, I think if they had given us this as the next season of the show, we would have been, all of us would have been very happy with it. I think the problem that they gave us this as a movie, and we were expecting something more cinematic. We were expecting, I mean, honestly, this felt like a TV show to me. And I think if they had given it to us, like I said, I think if this was season 4 of The Mandalorian, I think we would have all been happy with the season. I think it would have been better than season 3.
No, okay. So I went back and I rewatched the 3 seasons of Mandalorian, and the couple episodes of Boba Fett with the Mandalorian in them. I've come around a little more to season 3, but realized what season 3 is just, there's so much junk. The main story of season 3, with Din Djarin basically trying to prop Bo-Katan back up, and that whole storyline is good.
They should have made that a movie.
Exactly. They should have. If you take those couple episodes of Boba Fett and then season 3 of The Mandalorian, take out all the crap, okay? And the battle at the end of that last episode was better than the end battle in this movie.
Yeah, I mean,
what it was.
No, I mean,
and it could have been
disagree. That. I really just think this movie felt like a TV show. It felt like a season of TV.
It's interesting too, because I was watching an interview with Jon Favreau last week, and he said basically what happened is that he was working on season 4 of The Mandalorian when Lucasfilm or Disney or somebody asked him, "Hey, can you do a Mandalorian movie?" Like, he was asked to do a Mandalorian movie. So, like I said, somebody at Lucasfilm Disney, while he was making season 4, asked him to make a Mandalorian movie. And I'm curious, is this maybe some of the season we were going to get?
Could be.
Or is this something different? Because really, if this is what we were going to get in season 4, it would have been, to me, it would have been worse than what we got in season 3. Because again, there were no stakes in it, is what I'm saying. And I feel like it's one of those things where, like, I could skip this movie and go to season 4 and be fine.
Yeah.
There were no stakes in this, and that's really what bugged me most about it, is that there were no stakes in this movie at all.
Yeah.
And it was just, again, and it was boring. And to my eyes, it was just a boring movie, is what it was, and that's really what it came down to me. Quality wise, again, it looked good. The beginning action sequence was really cool. What else can I say that I liked? I mean, obviously seeing Zeb. I wish Zeb was in more of the movie. I mean, what we needed, I feel like, too, was, again, just to kind of explain a little bit to the people that hadn't seen The Mandalorian, him to just sit down really and be like, someone ask him, "Hey, how'd you get the kid?" Or, "Hey, why don't you take off your helmet?" Just give me 5 sentences would have explained just a little bit to people who hadn't seen the show, to explain that to the audience. And it would have. I think it would have helped a little bit.
I don't think that was necessary. But I mean, I don't think it would have hurt if it had been.
But
there.
At the same time, then we get people like Nora, who's like, "How come he's not supposed to take his helmet off? how did he get Grogu, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'm just saying I don't think it would have made the movie better if they knew the answers to those questions. Mm-hmm. I think that them having those questions is going to get them to watch more Star Wars, which is probably why they didn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. I always, to me, I always think they would have, like I said, more Zeb would have been nice, but oh well. I mean, how did you feel about Sigourney Weaver's character? Did you feel like she was really necessary?
No, not at all.
Because at the end of season 3 is when Mando goes up to what's his name, Carson Tarva. I got it here.
Grief Karga?
No, the Asian guy. Carson Teva. The
one who's always in the TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter, exactly.
Or the X-Wing.
He goes up to him at the end of season 3 and says, "Hey, I'm going to continue being a bounty hunter, but I'm looking after Grogu now, so I want to do a good job, so I want to start hunting Imperials for you." Mm-hmm. Like he was going to start reporting to him. Granted, he had a quick cameo in this movie, but Sigourney Weaver's character could have been him, mm-hmm. and you could have saved yourself money on paying Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, well, maybe she wanted to be in it or whatever, but I don't know.
They wanted to add maybe a little star power to it. Probably. I understand that too.
I mean, I don't think having it as her was any bad or good or whatever. I mean, I thought that.
I'm hoping maybe that kind of opens up for her to do more in Star Wars later. Maybe, perhaps.
It depends on where they're going to go, but but yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine, but
Yeah, I mean, there's just several things. There was just like. And one thing above me too, I thought about this as we were watching the scene where they're escaping with the Imperial officer or whatever. Okay, mm-hmm. He's an Imperial officer. He's surrounded by stormtroopers. The ships that go after him. Why are those not TIE fighters? I mean, to me, it's like, and then again, going back, we talked a little bit about the music too. Okay, mm-hmm. It also when Grogu was doing Force stuff. When he had his Force moments or whatever, I was like, why are we not putting in the Force theme just a little bit into it? Where it's like, mm-hmm. I get they want to make their own music, but you got to have those callbacks when the moments call for it, Yeah. He's using the Force, give me the Force theme. You're dealing with Imperials, give me TIE fighter ships.
Mm-hmm. I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I honestly didn't even notice the kind of ships that were coming out.
It's just a reaction, like you give me that TIE fighter sound, I immediately have a reaction to it, mm-hmm. is what it is. It's pops something in my brain and gives me a memory, a feeling associated with that sound or with that picture. Mm-hmm. And mostly people, it's positive. So I just don't see why you needed to not have it in there, when you easily could have had it.
For sure. I really like the music, though, I will say, talking about the music. But then again, I also have loved the Mandalorian music from the very beginning. Yeah. I really like Ludwig Göransson. I think he's an amazing composer. He does some really interesting and unique things in all the things that he's done. Like the music he did for like Black Panther and, the other films he's done. I really like how he has such a unique style in the music that he does. And so I really did enjoy the music in the movie. I know you were not as big a fan of it, but
yeah, I don't mind his music. It's good for The Mandalorian, of course. It's just, when you're doing a Star Wars movie, I would like to hear some Star Wars music. I guess.
But the thing is, this is a Mandalorian movie.
It's a Star Wars movie. Okay,
it is. Yes.
Rogue One was a Star Wars movie. Han Solo was a Star Wars movie.
Right, but the music in those too is very different from.
But you still hear some of the original themes.
But they have a very unique style.
They do.
Like when you hear music from Rogue One, you know that you're hearing music from Rogue One. Mm-hmm. When you hear music from Solo, you know it's music from Solo. Like I think that's what's unique about it. That's what's good about this is when you hear this music, you know you're hearing music from The Mandalorian. You're not going to be confused that it's one of the anthology films. This is one of the it's one of the set aside ones. And I think that's why I like that the music is a little bit different in The Mandalorian because it has a unique flair. It's just like when we hear, what Kevin Kiner does with the animated stuff, like, that you're listening. It has enough of a unique sound to it that you know what you're listening to.
And that's what I like about Kiner. And I guess I know his son is involved with music now, but I know his daughter's involved in music as well too. Mm-hmm. It's like a whole family thing now they're doing. But I'm like, Kiner, he makes the original music for the animated stuff, but you still hear flashes of the old stuff. Like when in Maul Shadow Lord, when he's fighting, he throws in a little bit of Duel of the Fates.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yes, give me something new, but touch on the old as well. You know.
I mean, in this one, it could be when we listen to this, if we see it again and we listen to the music, we might hear more of those touches mixed in that we just didn't notice in this one. But I really liked the music. I did. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Especially that's the music that they played when they were in that town when Rada was fighting that fighting town. I don't remember what that was.
I forget the planet.
The music in that city, I really enjoyed the music there. It was very unique. It was like kind of an electronic music sound, but it still had the Mandalorian. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I don't know. Sometimes when they were doing the huts too, it was a little, the CGI seemed a little off to me too. It's like, I don't know, just too much, I guess. If you would have had a hut instead of all these huts in there, I don't know. Something it looked off a little bit on some shots to me too.
Oh, so, I don't know. I didn't notice anything weird.
I don't know. And then, how did you feel about the whole sequence when Mando was knocked out from the poison and it was just Grogu?
Okay, so I thought it was interesting. I mean, I feel like I was trying to figure out during that sequence what they were trying to accomplish. Because it was a lot of like just a little like nothing, like a little like just like nothing for a while. But then I thought maybe that they were trying to show was that Grogu is
learning to take care of himself.
Yeah, like maybe showing that he is growing up a little bit and that he has that capability to be able to do those things. So I felt like that was what they were trying to accomplish. I thought it was kind of cute showing him taking care of Din Djarin as opposed to Din Djarin always taking care of him. You know, like how he was bringing him water and, you know, built a little hut for him. I mean, I thought it was cute. I mean, I think it wasn't necessary, but I thought it was cute. Like, I can see kids really enjoying that sequence.
Yeah.
I think it was another thing that was just going to get kids interesting. I think most adults were like, "This is stupid," but I think that kids. I
get like you said. I think the symmetry of what they were trying to convey with that. I mean, probably the most kind of character development you got out of either characters in the whole movie. But yeah, I was just like, okay, man, I guess I get it. But here's a guy who's been poisoned. He spent at least several days with the poison in him still. I'm like.
Yeah, but there's a lot of different kinds of poisons. I know that's what Nora said too.
It's fantasy. It's fantasy. Whatever, I mean,
whatever. Not all poisons kill you immediately.
The important part is we got some force
healing. Oh, for fuck's sake. As soon as he started doing that, I looked at you and I was like, oh my God.
As soon as he got cut, I knew force healing was happening.
I know. As soon as, like, Grogu put his hand out, I looked over at you, but you weren't looking at me, and I was, like, rolling my eyes so hard.
The force healing, of course.
Force healing. God, yes. It's like my nightmare.
How many characters could that have saved had they done it pre-2019?
So ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I mean, even if they just did it like once in a while, but it's like, oh my God, they started doing it and then they were just freaking force healing everyone everywhere.
Why do you think Din Djarin keeps Grogu around? That's exactly why he keeps the little rascal. Be like, yo, dude, heal me right now, okay? What are you good for except for this? Right?
Oh, he's a sweet little guy. I did think the scene was pretty funny when they were trying to tell Grogu how to start the ship.
Yes, that was
launching the missiles.
That was probably the funniest part of the movie. I
thought that was pretty cute. And he specifically goes to the ones where he has to flip the thing, and I thought that was cute.
Yeah, that was. I think that was the funniest part to me.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, overall, I thought it was an enjoyable space adventure. Like I said, there was no stakes. Nothing mattered. If you had never seen it or if you never watch it, you're not going to miss anything.
Yes.
But I mean, I think it was fine. I'm sure I'll watch it again at some point. And I mean, I'll watch it more often than I'll watch Rise of Skywalker.
No.
I would definitely put it higher than Rise of Skywalker on my list.
That's what I came back and I got on Twitter. I messaged a friend and I'm like, I'm so sad right now because I have a new least favorite Star Wars movie. As a Star Wars fan, that's like I couldn't get any. They made a movie that was less entertaining to me than Rise of Skywalker. And I'm like, I'm so sad. I'm so sad about it.
See, for me, the reason I like it better than Rise of Skywalker is because I would rather have a movie that had no stakes, like this one, than something like Rise of Skywalker that takes the things that you think matter and just like totally crumples them in a ball and wrinkles them up.
It's a sloppy mess.
It's a crap hole.
Yeah.
And it like retcons shit and it's stupid and it takes things in a weird. It's like trying to be high and mighty, and like trying to be like purposeful. I know what's best, but it's just a pile of horse shit. I would rather have this that means nothing. That's just a fun space adventure than that piece of garbage.
So with me, Rise of Skywalker to me is a total knee-jerk reaction to the Last Jedi criticism. Okay,
of course it is.
Where it's like what happened was it was like, okay, we got Force Awakens, well, everyone liked this. We got Rogue One, well, everyone liked this. Where's Last Jedi? Whoa, not everyone liked this. What? Whoa, wait. Solo's also not doing well. What? Because they're responding. And Solo, what happened with Solo was A, obviously no Harrison Ford. B, which is something. Okay, I totally get that. B, of course, Last Jedi divided the fan base, and the people who didn't like Last Jedi were totally enraged and pissed off, okay? But most importantly, C, it opened within 2 weeks of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, you're going to put out a movie. Disney's highest franchise was Marvel at that time, okay? And you're just coming out of The Last Jedi. Did you really think it was smart to put it that close to Infinity War? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but that didn't have anything to do with the quality of it. It was still garbage.
Exactly, it didn't. But there are a lot of people who probably were just in the Marvel mood, waiting for Marvel. And also, again, they were still. It was too soon to The Last Jedi. They should have kept it in December, like they had been.
I mean, I don't think that would have made it any better.
They would have had more time to work on the movie.
But they were still going to make that garbage movie.
It wasn't a garbage movie, but anyway. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. I would rather watch The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker because at least with that it has some entertainment value, some character value, lightsaber fights. Obviously, it's something.
Where was this movie going to have a lightsaber battle?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I find that entertaining. This one didn't, so I found it less entertaining.
Well, that probably just goes along the whole thing too, is how I like Rogue One and Andor much
more
better
than
you
I
do.
Which again,
I don't
like
need
Rogue
the lightsaber
One.
battles to
exactly.
enjoy it.
Exactly.
I mean, give me a good lightsaber battle. I mean,
well, we did have
Shadow
we
Lord,
did have Vader slice up some rebels in that one.
Dude, I mean, that's true. But I mean, like there have been some. I mean, lightsaber battles. Don't get me wrong. There are some epic ones, but I don't need a lightsaber battle to have a good Star Wars movie. Like I said, I love Andor. I love both seasons. I love Rogue One.
I don't need it either because again, I like Rogue One. I like Andor. I like Solo. Granted, it's just lightsabers are cool.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I mean, I have Rogue One and Solo above some of the prequels and above Rise of Skywalker and all that. So
Rogue One is way at the top. That's a great film.
I think I have it in the middle.
That is a great.
I think I have it in the middle. I agree. It's a great
Star Wars or not. It's a great film.
film.
It's a great script. It's a great story. Like I could go. I mean, I just think Rogue One.
There was a story that came out, or I saw it on Twitter actually. John Roca put it out. He retweeted it from someone, and basically, because there's a whole rumor about how Rogue One was completely restructured. The ending was all completely redone. They had to bring in what's his name, who did Andor, to take over for the original director, and like it's almost like the guy who's credited as directing the movie is almost like a ghost director. They're saying or whatever. But anyway, this post is basically. I remember this too. There's a bunch of shots we got in the trailer that are not in the movie, and it's like 3 minutes of shots from the trailers that we never got in the movie. And like Roca was like, "Man, I enjoy Rogue One, but I would love to see what those original ending was, for it."
But the way that it ended was so good.
It was good, but like there's shots in the trailer of like Jin and Andor running on the beach, and she's got the plans in her hands. They're running on the beach with them.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So
yeah. I mean, it would be interesting, but I just think Rogue One was such a great film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such an amazing story, and like just like the characters and the human moments in that, like just especially the way it ends, like just amazing. I just love Rogue One.
It's really good.
That's such a great film.
So with Mando and Grogu, because I went to the 25-minute preview on May the 4th, and here's where I knew I was not going to like this movie as much, okay? Because I went and I watched 25 minutes of the first 25 minutes of the movie, which arguably is probably the best 25 minutes. The action sequence at the beginning, all that. That was really cool. I think it's the best 25 minutes of the whole movie. Then I go home and I watch the finale of Maul Shadow Lord with you.
Oh my God.
So and I'm like, this is so much better than what I just waited an hour in line for to watch at the theater on an IMAX screen. And I still love Maul Shadow Lord so much better than what I was.
I don't understand what's happening in Star Wars where the TV shows and the books, to me, are far superior
or the best thing,
to the films. I mean, there have been, and I know that people don't read the books. I know that the books are definitely not something that's widely popular, but in the High Republic, I'm not going to pretend that the whole High Republic was great.
Right.
The first phase was awesome. Second phase was meh. Third phase was pretty good.
I think they got less as they went on.
Yes.
For me, at least.
Some of the other, like, just standalone Star Wars novels that have been out in the last, 15 years, 20 years.
Can I just pause that there? Do you think bringing in all those other authors for the other phases hurt it?
I think, yes.
Should they just stick with the same thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because I definitely think phase 2 and phase 3 steered.
And that's when they brought in more authors to write all that stuff. Yeah.
Weird ways. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so books and
movies. But there are so many amazing books in the Star Wars canon now that have, been written in the last, 15 years, whatever, that are so good. I mean, there are just some amazing. All the Padme ones are so good. I love the Thrawn, all the Thrawn ones.
So yeah, I recently gave JR Master and Apprentice, and I'm like, damn, I want to go back and reread that. Like, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to remember this. So like, when he asked me questions about it, and I'm like, oh damn, I need to go back and reread this.
Yeah. I mean, and some of the other ones that don't matter to anything, like Curse of the Red Blade. I don't think you even read that one.
I read that one.
You
liked him more than I did.
Really liked that more than I did. I mean, and I will read New Dawn every year. Love that book. I mean, so I'm not, and then the shows, you pull in all the shows, Rebels, amazing. The Clone Wars had its moments, but overall, solid. Maul, which we'll talk about in a minute. Oh my God, so good.
I love
Bad Batch.
And again,
great.
I never thought I was going to like Bad Batch as much as I did.
Yes.
Because again, it was no lightsabers, no Jedi, really, whatever. But it was about the clones.
Yeah, and it was about Omega.
Yeah,
and
Omega,
I think she got you right away. But it was like in a different way than Grogu. Like she was like the cute little thing, but it wasn't like the Grogu.
And what I'm going back to is the same thing with Solo. Okay, it's like you had this group of found family characters that each had these distinct personalities that really you just wanted to go on adventures with. Again, I go back to Din and Grogu. They don't have the personalities.
No. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I really don't.
But yeah, again, the animation, like I said, Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, Maul Shadow Lord.
I mean, you get Andor. I mean, like even like not the animated. I'm taking even just TV. Like Andor was so good. Like it's just sad to me that. I mean, honestly, if I think about the films, in the grand scheme of things, and I know this is probably an unpopular opinion, I honestly think if I'm looking at the trilogies as a whole, I think I liked the prequels better than the sequels.
Yeah.
As a whole. Because I mean, and I know I have very strong feelings about Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. So, like, even though there were things I dislike about the prequels, like, Jar Jar, I could just kick him in the face out the window. He drives me insane. But, I mean, I think that the prequels, I like the prequels.
Well, you can tell
better than the sequels. You can tell.
I mean, part of it for me has to do with, Clone Wars helped me come around more to the prequels. The novels have helped me come around more to the prequels and stuff like that too. But also, especially as we go on, you can see at least George had a decisive vision for that trilogy that he followed through to the end.
Yes, that's exactly the sequel trilogy. You can tell they were just being reactionary.
They were playing it by ear.
Yes, and it didn't work, and it looked like it was just some kind of weird piecemeal mishmash nonsense that didn't even make any sense. But it just makes me sad that that's where we are. I like you said, it just makes me sad that this is what we've come to with the films.
Yeah, and it's what we're because going back to that too, where like people often criticize the prequels because by that time George was so powerful that no one wanted to say no to him. That's what it was. It was his vision, and he followed it through, good or bad. Okay, but again, going back to the sequels, there was not one clear vision about it. And whether it would have been good or bad, it would have been nice to just have the one goal, the one follow through where, hey, this whole thing is planned out. Here's how all 3 movies are going to go. Do it.
Yeah, like it would have made sense from beginning to end. Whether we liked it, it would have been a cohesive.
Yeah, exactly. It all would have pieced together and be like, well, this contradicts that, and this contradicts that, and you can definitely tell that they changed their mind on that. You know,
it just doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's dive into the more happier note. The Maul Shadow Lord, of course. You know, it's been a couple weeks since we had this, of course, and hopefully people have saw it too. But again, it's just a comparison of. Here's what I don't understand too, and I guess it has to do with the people who I know when it comes to say, Lucasfilm is a part of Disney, and I feel Disney has more say or wants more say into what goes into the movies versus say the TV shows. Because Dave Filoni now runs Lucasfilm. Okay, it's just how it is. Okay, now granted, Mandalorian Grogu is still under Kathleen Kennedy. So be Starfighter that comes out next year too. But he's been involved heavily. He helped write this. This movie was written by him, Favreau, and another person, some other person as well too. So you look at Maul Shadow Lord, Dave Filoni's name is all over that thing.
So good.
Okay, and it's so good. Okay, Dave Filoni's name is pretty much over Mandalorian too. What happened? Because I think there are other people that are higher than Dave or outrule Dave and be like, no, this is what we should do. Versus, oh yeah, you go play in your animated little, show.
That's exactly how because I feel like the people who criticize and say that Dave Filoni can't do this, but then I look back at the stuff I love most in Star Wars is he's all over it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could rewatch Rebels constantly and never get tired of it. That show is, I think, an amazing piece of television.
Yeah.
And, Maul Shadow Lord, we're going to talk about it here in a second, but I thought it was amazing. Great. The animation was amazing. The story was great. The character development was amazing. The fight sequences were just some of the best I've ever seen. I mean, for real.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But then it's you see these bits and pieces of.
I think you're right.
I think in the animation world, I think people just let him do what he wants.
Yeah, and then they're like, whoa, these are major motion pictures. Let the big boys take care of this.
Yeah, and then it ends up coming.
Yeah, the Disney executives step in. You got the shareholders that be like, no, this is what you should have. You know.
Yeah, I mean, but maybe also it comes along the lines of too is how the movie this Mandalorian Grogu, it felt like a TV show. Yeah. Maybe that's also part of how it is. Maybe his Filoni's thing is TV, and he just does better in that TV, episodic type thing. I don't know.
I think what it is with him too is he's built his own sub universe with the animation stuff because Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, and Maul, they all go together. They all have shared characters and storylines and stuff like that, where it's just almost this sub franchise within a franchise that either you're in it or you're not, is what it is. And if you're in it, it's the best stuff.
Yeah. So good.
Exactly. So
good. Okay. So Maul, Shadow Lord.
Okay. So it's when we talk about, there are only 4 things that are confirmed to continue for Star Wars that are in production. One of them is a spinoff from Star Wars Visions. I know you never really watched Star Wars Visions before.
No.
I've watched it. I like it. It's not my favorite, but I like that it exists. It's something where people can come in, play in the Star Wars universe a little bit. It's not part of canon, but I like that, again, people can put their own spin on stuff. And it's fun. It's cute. I like it. I like that is there, but they're reading that. Now, the other thing they confirmed is Maul Shadow Lord Season 2. Season 1, you and I both really enjoyed, of course. Maul, being one of my favorite characters. I know he's one of your favorite characters as well. I guess, what were some of the highlights for that for you?
I mean, I think my favorite part of the show was that final fight sequence. I mean, all the little subsets of the fight were amazing, but as soon as Vader came into it, holy shit. Good Lord, did this show Vader Vader could be because you have seen Anakin through the Clone Wars TV show, and through this is the Vader that you expected.
This is the legend.
Yes.
This is the boogeyman that every Jedi fears and every Inquisitor respects or fears.
And because it's in animation, they could really do it. Because I think that was the problem. Vader in the movies is so stiff and robotic, but that's not really how Vader would be. Even in his this Vader was so fluid and but he didn't even really have to be because it was he wasn't even fucking trying.
So let me put a pause and I'll tell you this too, because so we just had the Boys series finale, a story about superheroes that is kind of vulgar, very adult oriented, okay, and it's live action. And then you also have the show of Invincible, which again is another superhero, vulgar, hyper violent show. I'm enjoying Invincible more because what you're able to do with animation versus live action, what you're able to show, when you're talking about superheroes and the kind of violence that they can inflict on themselves and each other or whatever, you can just get more of a sense of it and be bigger and with it, I guess, is what you can be. And I feel that same way about, with the animated stuff in Star Wars is that it's animation, so you're allowed to really, your only limit is your imagination.
Oh, for
you
sure.
can draw whatever. You can make these characters move however you want them to move versus live action where there are limitations with the costumes and the sets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think that's why that last battle, I think it was Vader as you always have wanted to see Vader. I mean, because I think that was one of the things in that scene in Rogue One when he comes out and he just is fucking killing everybody in the hallway.
He doesn't say anything.
He doesn't, right, but that scene I think was one of the best Vader scenes we had seen to that point. And when you're watching that scene, that movie, everybody was like, oh, I mean, what? It was so cool. This was even better. It was that Vader, but extra, know. And I think that whole scene, and then just seeing how hard, because every time you see Maul fighting, especially in Maul Shadow Lord, all the other fights he had in that series from the very beginning,
fighting the Inquisitors,
he made it look easy.
Yeah.
And then he goes to fight Vader, and you see he's struggling. This is hard for him.
You find out why he was afraid. When Vader shows up in Rebels season 2, and Maul's like, "I'm getting the fuck out of here."
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I think that was what that was definitely the highlight for me of the series of the series season was that last big battle. That was epic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so for me, honestly, when I saw the previews for this series, first I loved that the whole crime aspect of it. It was really that gritty underworld, the Lawson character and Two Boots. I love the detective story with them. They're trying to hunt down Maul. They're trying to piece it all together and stuff like that. They get wrapped up in this bigger story with Maul and the Jedi and stuff like that too. I like how they encompassed it and didn't give it a different feel compared to other series, which I really like. But one thing I knew I was going to like most was what's her name? Kevin? What's her name? Kieran. Devin. There we go. See, I almost got it. Devin.
So close.
And it's what it was, because that was exactly kind of what I wanted most of the series. Was here is a character who was raised in the Jedi Temple, says that her masters say here, this is how the world is, this is your role in it, and this is how you should act. And then it just completely flips, and you're like, this is not the world. Your role is not this. You need to act differently. And that's what Maul's telling. Maul's telling her, hey, your role, you need to do what you need to survive, which means doing stuff you were told not to do is what it is. And Maul's telling her this the whole series, trying to get her to realize this. And again, it goes into Ducky. I'm going to call him Ducky. I like Ducky. We'll go with Ducky. His Master Ducky is still trying to fight Vader in the old ways. And maybe, he would have won at the end. He got a blow on him. He got a shoulder shot on him too. But Maul realizes, hey, if we stay with this guy and fight by the old rules,
we're gonna lose.
We're all going to lose. So he's like, okay, I got to get him out of the way so we can all survive. Not just so I can take Devin and, make her my apprentice, but for all of us to survive.
Yeah, I mean, because he knows what Palpatine is capable
exactly.
of.
He knows what he's up against.
Exactly. He knows, like, he's probably one of the few who, like, legitimately knows what Palpatine's, what's going on, what the Empire really is, what this truly means. Yes. And he's like, you can come here with your high and mighty Jedi values, but it don't mean shit anymore.
Exactly.
Like, this is a different world. Yep. So if you want to come here with that, like, mightier than thou attitude, knock yourself out. But
I'm not having any part of it.
I'm not. It's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to work. Exactly. And he's not wrong. I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Look what happens. I mean, we've seen lots of different stories, lots of different, Star Wars stories that are taking place after Order 66, where you've seen Jedi that have survived and what they try to do to get through. And, how many of them became Inquisitors?
Yeah.
Not because they wanted to necessarily, but they didn't have any other option. And
yeah, exactly.
This is the world they live in.
Do it or die.
Yeah. And you think about the number of them that was.
Yeah, like, well, look, we just rewatched the Tales of the Empire with Barriss. Mm-hmm. She was very unsure of it. Mm-hmm. She didn't get online, but she knew she really didn't have another option.
She didn't have another choice, exactly. Kill or be killed. And, who knows what you're going to do when you get put in that situation.
And then look at Devin, yeah, exactly. She saw her master die, and she's like, okay, I realize what I have to do now, and gotta get it done.
Yeah, so, she's like, I guess if I have to ally, become your ally, then that's what I'll do. And
I don't think I asked you this, though, okay? Do you think Captain Lawson is actually gone? Because he ran into, like, a fog.
Oh,
we didn't actually see him die.
I think he's probably dead.
I don't think he's dead.
You don't think he's dead?
No, I think he's going to be apart with his son and Devin. I'm interested to see how that kind of goes together.
I'm curious what happens with his son, because I can't imagine that Maul's going to want to keep him around.
But Devin, I think, is going to still feel responsible for him.
I agree.
And Two Boots is still there.
Yeah.
So she's going to feel responsible just for him and try to keep him around, where Maul, again, is going to try to not.
Yeah, I don't think that Maul's going to think he's just dead weight.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So, but I think it's going to be that fight, I think, in the next season as far as that goes.
Yeah.
But I don't think Lawson is gone. I think he got captured. He'll show up later because, again, in Star Wars, if you don't see him die, he's not really dead. And even if you see him get cut in half, they might not be dead still.
That's true. That is true.
Exactly. But again, that's one of the brighter points, I think, as far as Star Wars going forward, that we have to look forward to. Like I said, I mentioned we have Visions, which is continuing, which is confirmed. Ahsoka Season 2, it was supposed to come out at the end of this year. They just came out a week or two ago and said, nope, that's pushed back to beginning of 2027. I don't know about this. I mean, honestly.
I mean, you know how I felt about Ahsoka Season 1, so I'm indifferent to Ahsoka Season 2.
Yeah, it's like, I know.
Which also hurts my heart because I really wanted to love it.
It hurts my heart. I mean, it's one of those things, the more I think about it, the more I so wish it would have been an animated series.
Honestly, that's not even what my issue. I mean, I know we've talked about
the main issue is Sabine. I know the main issue is Sabine. I mean,
honestly, that's I think what has been the hardest for me to come to terms with the Ahsoka series is because that was a conscious, purposeful decision that Filoni made
by Dave
Filoni, and I just don't understand it. I would love to be able to sit down and have a conversation with him about that. Like, why?
Again.
What was he thinking? What was his... I mean, he must have had a good reason, but there has never been a decision that he's made in the TV stuff that I have questioned, but I just don't understand that.
Again, this is just me playing devil's advocate. Live action series, more eyes on it. Did he have outside pressure?
Maybe. I don't know, but I still just can't wrap my head around.
And I'm still curious as far as, like, again, Boba Fett and Ahsoka were basically spinning off from The Mandalorian. We're still in the same timeline as well. We have Thrawn making his way back to the regular galaxy or Galaxy 1 or whatever, where everyone else is, okay? Obviously, he's going to pose a threat now. Hera's there. Ezra's there. Maybe we get some Zeb in Season 2. That'd be nice, too. If with Thrawn coming up, are we going to, maybe recruit Mando? Because again, there was the original idea from what we heard was they were going to do a movie with Ahsoka, Boba Fett, and Mando taking on Thrawn, kind of an heir to the Empire kind of the thing is what it is. And now, from what I hear, that's no longer going to happen. So I'm just curious what they're thinking going ahead. Where are we all leading to with this? And again, I mentioned this several weeks ago. I talked about it with you after rewatching the season 2 ending of Mando. I'm more and more pissed off. They just did not change actors for Luke, which would have allowed them to do so much with those characters in this time frame. Because if we have Thrawn comes back, and then we have a battle with Thrawn, the New Republic versus Thrawn, okay? Luke's got to be at the front and center. Leia's got to be at front and center, okay? What are you going to do? CGI them? You're going to CGI them?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You can't tell me that it's just, it should be them leading the charge. Instead, if it does happen, it's going to be Hera and Ahsoka and Mando, and I'm like, no, Luke and Leia, hello, and Han, come on.
Yeah.
But no, you can't. We have to deep fake them the whole time. It's a mistake. Just pisses me off as far as that goes. And then, of course, the big one next summer, Jedi Starfighter, just Starfighter. I'm thinking of the video game Starfighter with Ryan Gosling. The first thing that takes place post Rise of Skywalker. Now, allegedly, the rough storyline is that he picks up this kid who's a alleged Jedi, and he's trying to get him to Rey. Not sure how confirmed that is too, but this is going to be, I think, more of a telling of what's going forward. Mando and Grogu, everyone expected. The reason Mando and the Mandalorian Grogu came out is because after the Rise of Skywalker, Mandalorian and Grogu was their safest bet. It was Mandalorian, especially the first 2 seasons, were the thing that all Star Wars fans agreed on. So they know making a movie out of it was probably their safest movie to make, is what it is, which is why we got this, okay? Moving forward, again, is Starfighter, you think, going to set up more going forward, or is it just going to be another standalone?
I don't know. I don't know. I have no. We know how,
because people are asking during interviews for this movie, people are asking Dave Filoni, asking Jon Favreau, hey, do you have a future plan? They're like, yeah, we have a future plan. Yeah, we have a future plan. Are they bullshitting or what?
I don't know. I mean, I think we just need to jump way far in the future or way far in the past.
Again, yeah, exactly.
I think sticking where we are right now is causing too much trouble.
We need to go 100 years to the future or 100 years back. The problem was, I think they were testing the waters with the Acolyte in the High Republic and the mixed reviews on that.
The problem with that, though, wasn't that they jumped back in time. It was the story.
Yeah.
I think they could have done something in the High Republic.
But the show has soured that era for casual viewers.
Yeah, no,
is what it is.
Yeah,
I think if it would have went on better, I think you would have seen more of a movement towards that era.
I did not hate the Acolyte. I know that you did not like it.
I didn't like it too much.
I think there was a lot of redeeming bits of it. Overall, it was okay, but I honestly did not dislike. I liked the Acolyte.
Yeah, well, I think again, they need to move forward. Whether it's moving forward that way or going backwards. I mean, I don't know if you go back to Old Republic or even again High Republic. I think Old Republic would be the coolest thing to see because you have all the Jedi and all the Sith running around. Is what it is. I mean, going forward, I mean, it's so odd because you have fans that want new. They just don't want to stay in the Skywalker saga. They want our Skywalker era. They want to move forward. But then again, with the Acolyte, you try to move forward, and people complain about it. So it's like it's a lose-lose scenario in instances, and it's not an easy job. I mean, there are many directors in Hollywood who's like, no, I wouldn't touch a Star Wars movie because the criticism you get, no matter what you do, is going to be brutal.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it is not an ideal situation.
It's so beloved. Marvel directors are starting to feel that heat because that's become so beloved. I mean, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, all these big franchises with huge fan bases get criticized so bad,
Well, now with social media, everyone can say exactly what they think.
Exactly. Everybody has a voice, even if their voice is completely stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so, all right. Well, I think we'll call it from there, guys. Let us know what you think about The Mandalorian and Grogu. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you somewhere in the middle? Fire back in the comments. Let us know because we love talking about that stuff. And that is going to be it for us today, guys. Until next time, may the Force be with us all.